So why these three lenses? Why are they called the Holy Trinity? And are they still worth your money in 2022? What's happening, guys? Dan Debenham. In this video, we're looking at the Holy Trinity, what they are, what they do, and are they worth your money in 2022? So let's get to it. So what is the Holy Trinity of lenses? Well, it's three lenses that make up the vast majority of the popular focal ranges. We start with what we're filming on now, which is the 15 to 35. Then we go with the 24 to 70, and then we boost right up to the 70 to 200. So we've got three lenses that basically cover everything from 15mm right the way up to 200mm. And these are fast 2.8 zoom lenses. So these are f2.8, which means they let lots and lots of light in. They're good in low light situations, and they give that pleasing sort of separation between your subject and the background, whether that's in film or in photography. Now, you obviously don't need to go as high-end as an L series lens with 2.8. Every manufacturer produces this Holy Trinity of lenses, or whatever you want to call it, and they do it in two variants mainly. They do a super high-end fast lens, and then they do a more budget-friendly version, which around about f3.5, which still gets you that nice blur and all that kind of business, just maybe not quite as pronounced as what these do, but they're a little bit more budget-friendly, so you don't necessarily need to go this high-end. Now, when I talk about the popular focal ranges, that runs into what they actually do. They allow you to get the maximum amount of creativity out of the minimum amount of gear. So with these three lenses, I can get anywhere from I can get the 24mm, 35mm, 50mm, 85mm, 135mm, and 200mm focal ranges just from three lenses. So I'm getting like six popular focal lengths from three lenses basically, plus all the other ones that you can get in between, obviously, because you're not limited to that. Now, different manufacturers do it in different ways. Some do 14mm to 200, some do 16mm to 200. In my case with Canon, it's 15mm to 200, and these are all image stabilized and so on and so forth, and weatherproofed and what have you, and all that kind of stuff, so you're good in the adverse weather conditions as well. And what that does for you is it just allows you to be as creative as you possibly can without lugging about so much stuff that you need a cart to pull along behind you, or you need some sort of Sherpa to carry all the stuff with you, or a mate to carry it with you. You essentially can do it all yourself with just three lenses. So that brings me on to whether or not they're worthwhile your money in 2022. It depends on budget, depends on which ones you go for, and there's no hard and fast rule that says you have to have 2.8 all the way through from every single lens. In my case, I have that. I'm lucky, I guess. I've got a 2.8, 15 to 35, 24 to 70, and a 70 to 200. But there's nothing to stop you from mixing and matching between the two variations and building out that kit yourself. And so that essentially is budget. The budget side of things is basically down to your budget, as it were. But for me personally, this is a kit that, as a filmmaker or a photographer, you should be building out. It should be your backstop kit. This is your backup. This is the groundwork that you work on after. So you've got this kit, and then add to it after that. You know, add the nifty 50, add a 1.2 85mm prime lens if that's what you want to do. Go for a tilt shift lens or some sort of G master lens if that's what you're looking for. But this kit, this three lens kit, should be the kit that you build out, or you aspire to build out, in order to be able to get the very best out of yourself and out of the gear that you're using, with the least amount of trouble and worry carrying it about and getting it all over the place. I've used this kit on corporate jobs, I've used it on personal jobs, I've used it in YouTube as we are now. And this 15 to 35 is my go-to vlog YouTube lens. This is the one that I use primarily for talking to camera on, because it's nice and wide, I get a little of the background in, it's nice and fast, so I get it to be nice and blurred if I want it to be. But I can also go and use one of the other lenses for other things. So if I'm going to do close-up shots, or I want to compress that background in so that it's nice and blurred and really pick off the subject from the front, I'm going with the 70-200 because I can compress that background down. I can be a bit further away, can make it all look a little bit flatter, and I can get it to be really blurred, pick off that subject. If I'm wanting to do photography, or I'm wanting to do some thumbnails or whatever it is that I'm wanting to do, sort of general photography wise for YouTube or for Instagram or wherever that is, or professional work even, I'm going with the 24-70 because that's widely regarded as one of the most pleasing sort of focal ranges for photography anyway, and I get that 50-2.8 if I need it to basically give me a really nice portrait photo. But it's still wide enough to take a thumbnail, still wide enough to do a landscape with, and so on and so forth. So you're covered with so many things. There's so much you can do with it, and so much you can create with just these three lenses. It's definitely worth your money building it out in some way, shape or form. I'm not advocating you rush out and spend 10 grand on lenses, but what I am advocating is you go out and you aspire to build this out in some way, shape or form, so you're covered and you've got the maximum amount of creativity out of yourself and out of your gear. So with that, hope you did enjoy this look at the Holy Trinity, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.